Please to come to the stage, please. Thank you. I'll resume the session. So our next session is the panel discussion. Panel discussion on the topic of the future of the partnership and collaboration legacy technologies. So for that purpose, I would like to call onto the stage a well-known name into the women empowerment. Asma Zeeshan, the Circle Technology Head South Telenor, Pakistan. So Asma has a well-known face into the IT industry and into the digital transformation and women empowerment, a very well-known speaker having more than 20-year experience into the different organization, financial, telecommunication, FMCGs. So she's the enthusiastic lady I've ever seen into the IT industry. So please welcome Asma Zeeshan onto the stage. And Asma will be proceeding the session with his team. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Sabne khana kha liya, I think. Please show some energy. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Asma Zeeshan, and as Muzammil mentioned, I work for Telenor as the Circle Technology Head. And the topic of our discussion is the future of partnerships and collaborations. And before we start, I would like to invite my esteemed guest speakers on stage. So I would like to invite Ms. Khowla, I would like to invite Mr. Zarrar, Mr. Azimullah, and Mr. Waseem to please come on stage and join the discussion. Thank you. Round of applause, please. So, thank you very much everyone to join in, and as we all know that building a partnership culture is an investment in collaboration, and it is the most powerful way how organizations are now growing their businesses. They are strengthening their network, and in collaborative manner everybody is getting benefit out of it, and that's the future. And that's the topic. Digital transformation is the 21st century revolution after the industrial revolution we are talking about. And the partnership model is the way forward. And that is what we are going to talk about today. Before we start our discussion, I would like to ask my esteemed guests to introduce themselves briefly, starting from Mr. Zarrar, please.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Zarrar Khan. I am working in Ptcl and I head the B2B business unit. That includes the entire digital transformation support that we give to our clients both in the IT as well as in the networking space. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Zarrar. Yes, Ms. Khowla.
My name is Khowla. I'm currently working as head of partnership business marketing and
Yes, my name is Azimullah Khan. I'm working as CIO at OneLink.
Assalamu alaikum. Waseem Rasheed, General Manager, Information Services, Tapal, look after entire Tapal's information services.
Thank you so much, and we will start our discussion. As organizations work with partners, they find new ways to grow, they find new ways to optimize and transform their business for collaborative success. And we will start with Mr. Zarrar, Ptcl. You're from Ptcl, one of the national carrier and big organization. So how Ptcl, being the national carrier, is reaching out to their customers and developing local and international partnerships. So please throw some light on that.
Thank you very much, Asma. So all of you have, I'm sure, have heard about Ptcl, but this year is our 75th year of existence. But traditionally, we have been known as a connectivity provider, and at times not a very good one at that. So, you know, those of you who have been using Ptcl at your homes and at your offices, we were not the one, you know, that was actually known to be somebody who was a partner in digital transformation. For the last 2 years, our shareholders, and our shareholders are Government of Pakistan and Niti Salat, they have decided that the role of PTCL as the national carrier that you have mentioned is going to change. And we would first evolve ourselves from a predominant connectivity provider as to become somebody who's a digital transformation partner. And for us, having legacy as a government organization, we first needed to understand that what is digital transformation and what do we really mean by digital transformation, and how does it go beyond providing voice and data services. This was the first sort of learning that we started to do about 3 years ago. And then later on, the second step was that if we are going to go out into the market and seek to develop partnerships in helping our clients digitally transform themselves, we first have to internally transform. Because we cannot be a traditional organization on our own and then we reach out and tell people and try to teach them that how they can digitally transform and be more efficient. So we had a very large internal transformation project that included things like shifting our connectivity to software-defined networking, shifting our entire voice portfolio to voice over IP, using data-centered, certified data center for ourselves that we build and we run, deploying cloud for our own operations, making sure that our own IT stack is moving to the cloud, developing cybersecurity perspective, getting into the system integration business. So this was a journey that took a couple of years. And then back in some of the things started earlier like data centers, but some of the things slowly started to come in. So now where we stand in terms of partnerships, so we have two things. So the first one is that the Government of Pakistan has given us the tagline, the engine powering a digital Pakistan. So primarily on the government sector, they are focusing more and more on relying on PTCL to digitally transform the government entities. And some of the big successes that we have had in that regard, and I would just like to probably very briefly mention three. The first one was the digital transformation of utility stores. So utility store is one of the largest integrated retail stores in Pakistan. They have more than 4,000 different stores, and all of it was manual. So they still had the old registers and everything, and there was a lot of pilferage that was happening. So the government was subsidizing day-to-day items for the poor people, and most of it was getting pilferaged. So there was a huge project in which all the utility stores all over Pakistan were going to get connected. There would be a singular system that will make sure that not only that they are managing their inventory, but whenever they are dispersing any subsidized item, that is going to be linked to the CNIC or the Benazir Income Support Program card, and it is going to be verified through two-factor authentication and all those things. So that required connecting all the branches of utility stores with high-speed internet, making sure there is surveillance deployed over there, making sure that they have an integrated cloud-based ERP system that is deployed, ensuring that they have a primary and backup data center, they have infrastructure. The second one was from Federal Board of Revenue side, where they wanted to use deep analytics in order to improve the tax collection. So there was a project called Track and Trace. It was probably one of the largest projects in the FBR space, and Track and Trace is deployed on our cloud right now.
Okay.
The third one is the Board of Revenue Sindh. So Board of Revenue Sindh wanted to make sure that they develop applications, so every time you need to register, for example, a car in Karachi, or if you want to make some payments, this should be done on apps. So they wanted to transform their entire manual processes over to automated processes and have a whole cybersecurity framework. So they also came and chose us, and the Board of Revenue Infrastructure and the Sindh Excise and Taxation Infrastructure is now running on PTCL Cloud. On the private sector side, I think we started with the financial sector first. where we wanted to go ahead and we made sure that every single bank in Pakistan was running their own data centers. And in the newer era of digital banking, the role of banks is not to run infrastructure. It is to develop digital products and all those things. So we developed capabilities for the banking sector in order to make sure that, they can host on our certified data centers. Then we moved up the value chain, started to provide cybersecurity services to the banks, whether it is on the anti-DDoS side, or it is on the cyber threat intelligence side, or it is on the security operations side. Once that was deployed, the next one was to deliver cloud to the banking sector. Till about a year and a half back, the regulations of State Bank did not allow banks to host their infrastructure on the cloud. Those regulations, alhamdulillah, are changed. Now we are offering core banking as a service on a SaaS model. And similarly also on the retail side, on the FMCG side, on the manufacturing side, we sort of monetize the learnings that we had from our internal digital transformation, and we sought out to develop partnership where we were offering value to our customers, either in terms of reduced cost or in terms of better operational efficiency.
Thank you so much for such a great work PTCL is already doing, and that reflects that the government has that vision of digital transformation, and organizations like PTCL, our national carrier, are doing actually wonderful work. And talking about cyber security and two-factor authentication and all these things shows that we want a sustainable transformation, not just a temporary or a short-term solution. So thank you so much for throwing light on that. My next question was about, and you threw some light on that too, that what are the current economic challenges of Pakistan which can be solved through digital transformation? So if you can highlight maybe a few bigger ones. Okay, great. Okay. Yeah. It's on, I think. On. Yes, it is on, I believe.
So what we are now trying to do is to make sure that we are slowly bringing up our organizations, go up the value chain of automation, because not everything can be done by organizations like all of us who are sitting here. Like we cannot do much on electricity, for example.
Yeah.
But I think one very critical element of improving cost of doing business, which is to bring in as much automation as possible to improve your decision making and operational efficiency. This is the key area that at least PTCL is focusing a lot on in order to reduce and improve the operation.
Yes, and I think that's the baseline for any business, private, government entity, any business organization. The cost of business, to reduce the cost of business, and digital transformation must help in this regard. Thank you so much, Mr. Zarrar, for your valuable inputs. I know you have to leave as well, but till the time you can sit, we would be very grateful. So, Ms. Khowla, right. So, you are from telecom industry. And telecom industry has got a huge potential, and still there are a lot of areas where network coverage is available, internet is available, but that's not fully utilized. So how telcos are reaching out to those markets to create awareness and to bring more customer and the internet usage to bring that digital transformation in those areas which are untapped till now? Please throw some light on that.
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, now.
So I will focus on 3 digital use cases that can empower societies that are very relevant to Pakistan. Any customer who has access to a basic smartphone and has internet connection can avail these services and then can pay for these services either through their mobile balance or through mobile wallets. The first one is health. In Pakistan, 100 million people, which is 50% of our population, they do not have access to basic healthcare facilities. Everybody wants to be treated by the best doctors. People can sit from the comfort of their homes. The healthcare industry can launch apps. They can pay for these services. Customers can pay for these services via their mobile balance or mobile wallets. The second use case is education. Everybody wants to have the best teachers. They want affordable education. If the education industry gets into this space, leverages technology and provides these services via an app or a website, and you can consume these services by just paying through your mobile balance or your mobile wallets, that's a good business use case for Pakistan. The third, which is very relevant, is Pakistan is an agrarian economy. Our farmers do not have access to agri-related services, which usually impacts their crop yield, and they don't know how to market their products, which impacts their revenues. Now, if I specifically talk about Telenor, during COVID, we realized the potential of education and health use cases, and we made inroads into these 2 areas by partnering with startups and with the relevant players in these respective industries. If I talk about agriculture, out of a base of 50 million Telenor users, 16 million plus are very actively engaged on our network, and they consume agri-related services. So our agri portfolio is a mix of IVR, SMS, call center, and our digital app. And we are slowly transitioning our IVR-based customers onto the digital app. So I think these industry collaborations can really help increase the internet uptake in those far-flung areas and also empower societies.
Yeah, thank you so much, and especially collaborating with startups, which is the new future, and these telcos are playing an important role in that. And wonderful work is already being done by telcos, and I'm sure the future is bright. So my next question would be how telcos are collaborating with banks and fintechs to bring financial inclusion or digital enablement in the country.
So if we look a decade ago, Telenor basically was the pioneer in bringing and developing the infrastructure to enable digital payments in Pakistan. Easy Paisa was incubated within the Telenor ecosystem and then scaled, and now it is a separate independent company. The current dynamics of partnerships are very different when it comes to fintechs and mobile wallets, which includes Jazz Cash, Easy Paisa. What we are doing now is that we are providing ease to our customers that they can log into these fintech and digital apps, and they can do top up, they can buy different kinds of bundles. So I think the dynamics have changed, but so we have our main customer app, which is the My Telenor app. We can even, so a customer who doesn't have balance, he can basically top up balance by just putting in his Easy Paisa pin, and he gets to top up his balance for 100 rupees, and then he can purchase a relevant bundle.
So we are making it easier for the low-level customers as well.
So we are making it easier for our own customers, and we are also making it easier for the fintech customers who are also Telenor's customers.
Right. So giving the user-friendly and flexible small apps to our customers can bring this financial inclusion, and there is a huge potential in the market. So thank you so much, Khowla, for your valuable inputs. Coming to you, Mr. Azimullah, coming from OneLink, one of the biggest payment gateways in the country, licensed one. So please throw some light on that, how OneLink is reshaping the payment landscape of Pakistan through smart and digital solutions. So we would like to hear about that.
Thank you, Khowla. It's a long answer, a short question, but a long answer. Actually, OneLink is a collaboration of banks, and it started off in 2003 to actually provide access to the cash on 24/7 basis. And the banks have connected their networks through OneLink, where members, we call them members because we believe that it's a community of banks which are actually connected with each other to provide services. this was the starting point of the journey, but later on there are a lot of things that OneLink had done to facilitate or create the payment infrastructure in the country. We started off as a ATM switch, but later on we launched a product called IBFT. You must be aware of that. A lot of transactions or the payments are happening through IBFT. We engaged with all the payment schemes, Visa, MasterCard, UnionPay, JCB, and provided their access to all the banks who wanted to launch these services in Pakistan. We also launched a bill payment service which is connected to most of the billers in Pakistan and most of the service provider or the payment making companies to these billers. This is one of the area that we have started off. Later, we decided that it's not only a membership or a community of banks. The community extended to the microfinance banks, then to the funds, different like MCB funds, the UBL funds. This community further extended to the exchange companies. They became our members. Then we started to explore as to how the payment, there are people who wanted to make payment and there are people who wanted to take payment from other parties. So the biller community started to grow in our network. We introduced a concept of aggregators because we believe that we cannot reach to every biller who is available in the country. We believe that there could be maybe 50,000 billers who wanted to take payment from their consumers. And OneLink alone cannot go to all those consumers. So we introduce a concept of aggregators where aggregators actually reach to their area of speciality. They connect those billers to the network and then these billers become available to all the banks, all the customers who wanted to make payment to these people. So this is what we have done. Later on, we have found that the fintech community also wanted to have a lot of access to the services that we are providing. So we have launched a concept of affiliates. Affiliate is a concept where we believe that the banks or the companies who are connected to us, if they wanted to offer payment services or wanted to give access of payments to these fintechs, they can make these fintechs their affiliates, and those affiliates can become a member to OneLink. So now we have a growing list of affiliates which are doing a lot of transactions, and we believe, recently a colleague of mine was also saying that in future we expect that there will be more affiliates and more payments will be going through affiliates rather than going through banks. Although the banks will be providing a backbone, but affiliates or the fintechs will be there to take most of the payments. So this is something that there's a journey behind that. Rather than launching a product, what we believe is that a collaboration environment is more important, where we believe that not everybody is expert in everything. So wherever there are different kind of expertise, we can connect all those expertise into a network where everybody can take a value out of this. This is what OneLink has done so far.
Yeah, thank you so much, and very rightly said, not every organization is an expert of everything. And fintech is a growing industry and growing at a very rapid speed. And especially I would like to touch upon that non-banking financial corporations, that how they are getting benefit out of these partnerships. So having these collaborations and partnerships with organizations such as OneLink, who are giving the payment gateways, can bring that transformation which we are looking forward in our country. So thank you so much, Azimullah Saab. And one more question, that how do you think, I think you have already answered, maybe you can elaborate a bit more, that how you are reaching out to the masses, the customers, through these collaborations and partnerships?
As I said that, for example, we have just spoken about Ptcl doing a lot of work on the infrastructure side. This work that they have done on the utility store, it also helping the Sony Dhati Remittance Program customer to access to those stores. Similarly, EasyPaisa is doing a lot of work in the field by connecting many people to their app. And whenever these people wanted to have access to other services which other banks are offering or other billers are offering or other companies are offering, we are there to connect those companies to EasyPaisa, through which EasyPaisa can provide those services to their consumer, and the payment can go to the recipients easily. So this is where our role comes in, that we provide the infrastructure, we provide the operating rules, we provide the clearing and settlement services, we also provide them the dispute resolution mechanism, and we also monitor their performance. And at times when we feel that since Fintechs are the new kid in the block, so they are also learning as to how they should transform their products to be a banking grade product. So we also help them to design their products in a way that they should be acceptable to the consumer industry as in general.
Thank you for providing a secure infrastructure to all these organizations. So now moving towards Waseem Saab, a very well-known name in the IT industry. Waseem Saab, how do you handle partnerships and collaborations in your organization? And what is your experience with system integrators and end-to-end security and product delivery? Yeah, it's a big question. So
let you explain the Tapal's digital journey. Right. Tapal digital journey, when I joined Tapal 8 years back, so the company is growing exponential, and they're taking the decision based on guts, because they have no B2B business transformation visibility. They have 400 plus distributor, and they have a completely dark. They don't know where the sailing, right? So 160,000 shops and getting the each SKU-wise visibility. There's always, chairman was dreaming, I wish I could get these information across entire country. So when I joined, there were only the IT departments managing the infrastructure. So I present the board, right? So IT is not working like that. IT need to be divided in, the business transformation visibility, business transformation project need to be 80-20 rules. 20% your infrastructure, 80% your business. Business is getting visibility, what went wrong yesterday across entire 160,000 shops, and all your primary business, right? Across supply chain, demand planning and all these stuff. So this is just fine. So they went to, SAP and they, vanilla. And they have, struggling mode. The processes are not aligned, from the procurement of tea, 100% we procure import, right? Tea, from getting the visibility of all supply chain and demand management of MRP, all these financial supply chain, these stuff are all Excel based. We start journey. Every year we do 4-5 transformation, right? Every year. So last year we did, we built the entire core on top of S4HANA, right? Now we are, strategies, information, giving you the real-time basis, that's it. Information is intelligent suites and intelligent enterprise, right? Intelligent enterprise, we are putting the focus on RPA, ML, AI, right? Getting a real time. So we did the open tax, one of the business transformations is scan to pay. Normal enterprise system offering 2 controls, a 2-way voucher and 3-way voucher. Now, our objective is, entire Tapal is 500 plus employee across 8 warehouse across country and export also. So we have to transform ease of doing and the less people doing a smart job. So continuously we focus it and then transform it. That's as a sourcing of Ariba we implemented, all these buying through Ariba. And secondly, that's another project is MI, Manufacturing Integration Intelligence, we have more than 100 machines which are packing, real time we're getting the visibility of each sensor. And then, the overall equipment efficiency, one single click, they get the inside the real time, what fault, what glitches running. So continuous we are doing, and the Tapal is getting a real time operation visibility, not only the current business, also B2B. 160,000 shops, they are getting entire visibility SKU-wise target, and if not meet the target, they have, exceptions, right? So they continue their fighting. Regarding a partnership, strategic partnership and collaboration, both are, game changer for me. These 2 areas are very critical to connect the people, and the most difficult job is to manage the people. internal stakeholder, external stakeholder, and also your team, right? So, and number one, we do the empathy. Whenever we hire the partner, we acquire the services, we have to ensure it, they have a right muscle to deliver it. Normally, people are plus minus and saying everything in a sales for sale. When it comes to deliver, they give you the, serious surprises. And board doesn't understand. And top management doesn't understand. You have to commit and you have to deliver by hook or by crook. So it's important is a relationship. Number one, important relationship with empathy. We feel the pain of other. We know there are challenges with the partner. We know we challenges with the internal team. So we never asking the gold plating. Project management terminology. अच्छा कुछ थोड़ा एक्स्ट्रा होना चाहिए. जब भी प्रोजेक्ट कर रहे हैं तो आप कहते हैं कुछ थोड़ा एक्स्ट्रा. So gold plating is start asking the CR change request. So project is time and scope and cost. So all three parameters always disturb it. So we always prefer to ensure the partner is we know what he has muscle, we know what he's doing. He knows the business. Otherwise it's surprises. The second thing is collaboration. Collaborations, it's a very serious game. And we did the implementation 450 distributor, remote site across, because we put the governance for collaborations. We getting the real site inside, real time insight. यार मेरे रहीमिया खान के distributor पे ये challenges है, मेरे cohort में ये challenges है. We get the real time. I would recommend you use Trello. Trello is one of the good collaborating task management, process governance management, project management. Anything you can map it in a card. So you're getting the real time. Collaboration. Just only the meeting the people does not. Measuring the people is very important, right? And then get the real time insight. कि यार मेरे 400 distributors में 30 distributors still as not yet implementing because of these XYZ reason, right? Otherwise होता है कि महीने के बाद में present हो रहे हैं और damage is already done. So in order to improve your collaboration, I would recommend you use the tool. And the partnership always we love to ensure it they have right muscles and they have empathy. No one is perfect. मेरे लोग भी कमजोर होंगे, partner के भी लोग भी कमजोर होंगे, लेकिन but amicably resolve it. Not it is deadlock creating. So important is they respect you and you respect them. That's the important game. And the last 25 years I come across more than 20 plus serious projects, especially in SAP, in Oracle, and then projects is maybe 18 months, 17 months, 2 years long projects. That's the only game is we respect. We know he has muscle. We know what they are doing. So important ये कि both end को clarity, visibility होनी चाहिए कि यार मुझे चाहिए क्या, मैं ख्वाहिशात पे नहीं जीऊँ, wishful thinking में नहीं यार मुझे ऐसा हो जाए gut feeling पे. No, fact based, you have to be on a floor. Synchronize your shop floor to top floor. ऐसे नहीं कि ऊपर वालों को कुछ और हमने commit किया है, नीचे कुछ और कर रहे हैं, and vendor is saying something else, right? So in order to do, they have to be proper relationship with empathy, with time management, important thing. And collaboration, we always use the tools, Trello and other stuff to getting the, it's the measuring. If you measure and manage, this is important for us. Otherwise, 450 distributor we did, transparently, and very, very average people. In the remote areas, you always find the expert and it's struggling mode. That's the important thing. In weak people can drive it if you put it right tool. That we have done it.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we talked about partnerships and collaborations, but a very critical point which Mr. Waseem has just mentioned is the stakeholder management, because that requires a lot of stakeholders to handle with, a lot of industry professionals to handle with, and that there comes the management role and a successful delivery of that through that partnership and collaboration. So stakeholder management is a very critical element. Thank you so much for touching upon on that. And now I would like to ask you, Mr. Zarrar, one more question. How do you see that PTCL can secure future partnerships?
I think based on my personal experience, there are three things that are very, very important. Whenever you're seeking any partnership in any area. So the first one is the clarity of vision, that what exactly do you want to do? Because a lot of times what we do is that there are certain either industry fads or it is the desire of shareholders or senior management that they want to get something done and we don't have internal capability, so you go out and seek partnerships. I think in the long term that fails. Any partnership that any organization needs to set up, the first thing is that for that organization to have a very clear understanding of what is the vision of what you're trying to achieve. The second step would be that what exactly are you requiring from your partner and what are you offering to your partner? Because a lot of times where projects or partnerships fail is that not everything can be written down in a contract document or in a purchase orders and everything, and things tend to fall in the cracks. So at a very strategic level, alignment of responsibility is something which is very critical, and it is not, normally in a vendor-based relationship, you can say that, okay, you're the vendor and you have to deliver everything, but when you're seeking a partnership, there are, deliverables from both sides. So there has to be a clarity of what is being required from your partner, what is the value that the partner is expected to bring in, and what are you putting on the table, what is your value that you are going to be delivering. And the third part is trust. And I think even though I'm putting it up in the end, I think this is very, very important, because it is the trust that is ultimately going to take the ship to the end. Whenever there is a challenge, I mean, it is human nature that we tend to A, become defensive, and B, we become skeptical. And a lot of partnerships, when they fail, they are actually failing not because of lack of capability, not because of lack of desire to succeed, but rather because of lack of trust. So for us, specifically in digital transformation, because a lot of times it's an unknown area. I mean, a lot of our partners, when we pitch to them, and then we ask them that, look, you are having your own infrastructure, whether on the storage side or on the compute side, why don't you shift it to the cloud? And we believe these are the sort of values that we will be able to offer to you. They don't exactly know what are the challenges that they may face. They at times also do not know what do they really need. Maybe at this point in time they would know what they need, but when you get into the cloud domain, you need to forecast minimum for the next 3 years. So, they would not see that how their requirements will evolve and everything, and this is very natural. I think it would be very, very difficult to say that both, 1 and 2 that I mentioned are going to be sorted out. What really makes the whole partnership work is point number 3, which is trust. Because when you have trust, you are willing to take 2 steps forward, even though it would mean that, probably it was not your job or it was not your mandate, but trust is actually which takes the ship to the end.
Yeah, thank you so much. When you have the clear vision from the top management, and then the top management build that trust in the organization as well, and that reflects in the success of partnerships. Waseem Saab, please touch upon how your company business is growing through these partnerships and collaborations. That will help all of us to understand that how Tapal is actually making it a big hit. Yeah.
We, as a IT, we are enabler. We enable them to reach out at every village and getting the visibility of your rolling sale forecast. We have 3 different, targets: annual operating plan, and then rolling forecast and SNOP, right? So, our sales team is fully equipped as far as information. The game is information. If you get the right information at the right time, they will run the business. That is the game is over in dark. So my entire sales team is getting the real time So they know my daily targets, they know my weekly targets, seriously they pursue their target. Otherwise, earlier they have a genuine excuses. Say 160,000 shops, we don't have, visibility, sir. We can't meet the target. We just dump on it on warehouse at distributor end, and then we reach out by gut feeling, yaar ho gaya, nahi hua. Now they have no excuses, right? So that's why. And then we have, RBU setup. We have each region RBU setup like a general manager of that region, like Sucker, one of the most volume generate unit, right? It's in Karachi, Hyderabad. So RBU is running the show, and they taking the real time decision to hit the to competitor to get the targets. So that's why we enable them in every aspect, not only this B2B model and also primary business. All these we have success factors. Technology wise we enable them, and then they get the real time operation visibility what went wrong, and then continues. We have every year 7, 8, 10% growth, because its organic growth is less than 3% in T category. Continuously meeting in a 7, 8, 9, sometimes 10%, and because of they're getting information. If I switch off, they will they will not run the business, literally. Yeah. So technology is an enabler for them. As getting the oxygen, your blood stem, entire system is running blood, and blood. This is information technology, like is running like in a Tapal, the blood stem. So that's that's a make their life easy.
Yeah.
Make easy and easier, and do the smarter job, less people.
I think that's a great enablement towards our business, what IT can do to give them real-time data at the right time, to take right decisions so that the business continue growing. Thank you so much for sharing your feedback, Azimullah Saab. One more question from you. Digital banking, a lot of discussion is going on these days on social media and everywhere about this topic. How does OneLink act as an open future for digital banking in Pakistan? So, your thoughts?
Okay, the most of the word digital is usually coming through apps, maybe. Previously, it used to be said, we used to say it's a e-banking environment. Now it's a digital banking environment. But the payments, there are two aspects of the thing. One is the payment. The payment has to be there. People need to transact with each other. People are offering services, product, and then they need to be paid somehow. So this infrastructure is already in place, and it's continue to be improvising. We, for example, in case of OneLink, we have started a journey on the tokenization front as well, where banks will be offering payment through tap and go or through a mobile phone. So this project is already running, and there are 2 banks who have already completed their integrations with that. But having said that, in terms of opening up more accesses to the bank, banks have to play a more important role in this. Since we are sitting in a center, we have already created an open API platform through which banks are connecting to each other on various fronts. And this discussion has been going on that the AML, the KYC of a customer, the due diligence of a customer, the documents which banks are generating for the customer also need to be shared with each other, so that the cost of doing business and access to those customers become much more easier for everybody. There is a lot of debate going on since last 2-3 years, and we believe that in next year or so we will see a real life implementation within Pakistan. The second most important thing is that because of these new technologies which are coming in, like open API platforms, the internet, the e-commerce way of doing transaction, the tokenization, the apps are becoming more powerful, and they are providing a lot of ease of services to everybody. We believe that there are certain expertise within the banks through which banks are offering a lot of services to these customers. But there are also a lot of expertise outside banks to offer another different kind of services. So we will be providing infrastructure to anybody who is interested to make payments to each other, and then who wanted to connect to banks or any other third-party service provider through our networks.
I think, yes, it's a great opportunity for the banking sector. The potential is already there. The infrastructure is already there. It's about having those partnerships and collaborations through successful stakeholder management, and there we are. We'll be seeing this digital banking growing faster in our country. So with this, I would like to end our panel discussion. So thank you very much for sharing your vision, experience, and for representing the top leading industries of Pakistan. Highly obliged. And if anyone has any question from the participant or from audience, so you are welcome to ask. We still have 5 minutes.
Anybody has any question?
Any question? Very interesting discussion has just happened.
Hello.
Great. So no questions. I think it's pretty much clear that how important partnerships and collaborations are for the success of not only private organizations, but also for the public organizations and ultimately for our country. And if our country grows, we all grow, the business grows, and everything happens in the right direction. So with this, thank you very much, all of you, and thank you for listening to us. Thank you.
Thank you. I would request you please stay on the stage. Please. So, for the shield presentation, I would like to call Sir Tanveer. Please come on to the stage and present the shield. Thank you. So first award goes to Waseem Rasheed sir. Waseem, please. Waseem, please. Thank you for sharing your journey with the Lipton. Next one for the Asma Zeeshan. Khowla, please receive your shield. Next, a shield for the Zarrar Khan. This. Okay. Zarrar Khan. Thank you. Kindly, if you can come to the stage for the group photo of the panel, please. Khowla, please. Last one for the Azimullah Khan. I would like to request the panel participants to stay on the stage for the group photo, please. Thank you for sharing such a wonderful experience.